have to say the direction is very good on the whole. Some nicely composed shots like this one. There's a good gothic feel and the film's beautiful to look at. The music by Misha Seagal is stunning and the script is good. Eric gets some great lines.
Won't happen again.
No, it won't. You're suspended.
Evening, Governor. What's your desire tonight?
Desire? What do you know of desire? Tonight, your name is Christine. I never forget a face. You're a thing from hell, and you, sir, are hell-bound. You love the music. I am the music.
Who is this man? I must know.
You must not.
Do I know you?
By my works.
What will I think when I see you?
You'll just die. Everyone dies. I only choose the time and place for a few.
It's Robert Englund's performance that takes what could be quite cheesy material in less skilled hands and elevates it to a much higher place. His acting here is brilliant. It's a real revelation when he was previously typecast as Freddy. Although it is a similar kind of role, he really gives Eric a bit more depth. His phantom is genuinely menacing, yet in other scenes he's a charming gentleman. I love these bits in Box 5 where he's like an excited kid watching Christine perform for him. In fact, some people rate Robert Englund's performance up there with Lon Chaney, and I wouldn't disagree. However, the storyline for this film's a little weird. On one hand, it totally mangles the LaRue novel to pieces. Yet, on the other hand, it seems to be one of the closest adaptations since the Chaney version. This has lots of LaRue goodness. There's Carlotta, Meg, Joseph Bouquet, the Ratcatcher, Box 5, the Mass Ball, the Unmasking, and even the graveyard scene where the Phantom plays the violin behind Christine's father's grave. Something that hadn't been seen on film since the first cut of the 1925 original. The only thing it seems to be lacking is a chandelier scene, which you'd think they'd include to show plenty of squished bodies. However, in this one, they make the Phantom more than just a man. He's superhuman. He starts out as a poor composer, Eric Dessler, who makes a pact with the devil.
I want the world to love me for my music.
What would you give for your music to live forever? Like Beethoven, Mozart, the immortals.
Anything. I'd give everything.
Wait a minute, this is supposed to be the devil? When I think of the devil, I don't think of a little creepy midget man. And while I'm on the subject, just what is it with Phantom movies and dwarves? Off the top of my head, there's been at least 5 Phantom films that feature dwarves or midgets in some capacity or another. The Herbert Lamb kick started it all off, then Maximilian Schell's version had this similar sort of sidekick, then there's this version, and then the Dario Argento version had one. And even the freaking Joel Schumacher musical version had dwarves in it. Why? I don't know, maybe because Gaston Leroux was so short that his estate put some clause in the paperwork that Hollywood can do whatever they want with the Phantom storyline, as long as there's at least one character under 4 foot in the film. Anyway, back to the Robert Englund version. Dessler sells his soul, but there must have been some screw-up with the infernal paperwork, because he was promised his music would be immortal, but he would be unloved. Yet the opposite happens. Dessler becomes immortal, and his music remains obscure and forgotten. This inconsistency is never really explained. I guess the message here is, always read the small print if you're signing a contract with the devil. Some people think this subplot is ridiculous, but it makes more sense when you consider that this Phantom has to be capable of living to the modern day for the purposes of the unmade sequel, and it also shows that the writers at least did their homework on LaRue. The novel uses Gounod's opera Faust as a backdrop, but here it's a direct counterpoint with Eric Dessler's story. For those who don't know, the opera Faust is about this guy who sells his soul for the love of a woman. And that relationship is shown clearly, because it's while watching a performance of Faust that triggers Eric's flashback to his bargain with the devil. Never has the Faustian elements of the Phantom story been so strongly used as here. Unlike other versions, this Phantom doesn't hide behind a traditional mask. That's nowhere near messy enough. This one skins its victims and stitches their flesh onto his face. Ew!
This was no phantom, Davis. Ghosts do not skin their victims.
For a slasher movie, it's not all that grisly and gory by modern standards, but just the thought of some of these things is absolutely disgusting and unnerving. Apart from the messed up New York bits and the supernatural elements, this version follows the basic phantom narrative established in other movies. Christine is tutored in her dressing room by her angel of music. Carlotta is replaced, and Christine wows her audience. However, like the Maximilian Schell version, a reviewer is paid off to write a bad review and scupper Christine's career. Why? Well, apparently the manager of the Opera House, played by Bill Nighy, has the hots for Carlotta. No idea why, she's a nasty piece of work, and Christine is so much hotter. Anyway, Eric is really upset by the review and confronts the reviewer in a Turkish bath.
More steam?
By all means.
Hang on, is this another subclause in the crazy LaRue contract? LaRue liked Turkish baths, so every Phantom adaptation should try and throw in a scene set in a Turkish bath? Look, we've got the Schell version, this one, and the Dario Argento version. What is going on with these movies? Another thing I like about this version is the Phantom isn't confined to the sewers. He has a realistic face now that allows him to move through the shadows of the seedy Victorian underworld. He drinks in taverns, sleeps with prostitutes, and gets into fights, like this cool scene where the thugs try to rob him. This is another scene where you can see the supernatural elements, where, for a moment at least, he becomes like a Freddy Krueger sort of character, able to move at amazing speeds.
Is this what you wanted?
The Phantom abducts Christine and takes her to his lair, and then he releases her again. Meanwhile, there's this role character called Richard who, along with the police inspector, tries to solve the murders in the Opera House. At the masquerade ball, Eric kills Carlotta and puts her head in a stew, which I think is pretty funny because she did have it coming after all. In all the chaos, he abducts Christine again, and so the police and Ron go underground to find her, with the aid of this character, the Ratcatcher.
Original costume.
The thing you're looking for has already come and gone, right under your nose.
You have to just love this guy. He never knows when to shut up. And you know it's going to land him in trouble.
He pays me well to keep his secrets. You are an unholy thing. I heard you singing with the girl.
Just learn to keep quiet, man. You're just asking for it. Anyway, there's a creepy scene where Eric stalks the police, and this does come across as a bit of 1980s horror cheese. Later, Raoul confronts the Phantom for the final showdown, but get this, he actually dies. Raoul actually dies. I don't believe it.
Raoul!
And not only is he squidged, but he gets set on fire. Cool. Christine decides she's had enough of all this and knocks over a lamp and breaks a mirror. And that's it. Apparently that's enough to break the spell and she returns to the modern day. To add to the confusion, when Christine wakes up, she doesn't seem to remember any of this because she comes face to face with the Phantom again, who's producing the show in the modern day, but she doesn't seem disturbed about this at all. She goes to his apartment and finds a floppy disk. Yeah, remember those? And it contains Don Juan Triumphant. She puts it on and gets the music she knows so well in MIDI format. She panics and, by the sound of it, crashes his sound card. Then comes the scene that I didn't think we'd get to in this film, an unmasking. Even though we've already seen his hideous face a number of times so far, this time you can see that, like in the picture of Dorian Gray, the price of immortality is that his face deteriorates over time, until it's turned into this squidgy mess that you can see here. Earlier on it's revealed that the only way to kill Eric is to destroy his music. Although how anyone can know that I don't know, seeing as apparently no one's destroyed him yet. So now there's this really weak ending, where Christine just throws his music down the drain. But apparently that's enough to kill him. Or is it? Obviously the Phantom is alive and well, and ready for a sequel that will never come. Probably. I'm the Phantom Reviewer. Keep subscribed to my YouTube channel as there'll be plenty more from me in the future. So long for now.